the ways that you can try to get creative with the running game to get it going, given the injuries in the offensive line. Have you guys exhausted the possibilities to now, or are you still working on ways that you can kind of kickstart this thing?
Well, obviously, you got to find ways to improve. Possibly getting back to some of the schemes that worked earlier in the season, or what helped Travis, break free. Obviously, the injury situation, in the offensive line has affected that just a little bit, having that continuity up front. But it's something that we're focused on, and even with Phil, just again finding those schemes that have worked in our past, and trying to tap back into that to see if we can't jumpstart the run game.
Ezra and Cisco got hurt yesterday. Do you have an update on either of those guys?
Ezra, I believe it was his knee that he felt in the game. Everything, checked out good this morning, today. So, he'll be day to day. Obviously, he's sore. Cisco has a groin that, will. Those are a little bit different injuries, obviously. Much like a hamstring or quad. So he'll be, obviously day to day, but. We just got to see how he feels as the week progresses.
Is there some hope that Walker be able to go this week?
Yeah, optimistic. We'll see these next couple of days, and when we get to Wednesday. But optimistic that he can maybe get some reps. He and Brenton Strange both possibly this week.
Day after, how did Trevor's ankle respond today? So will
Good.
he be limited at all in practice this week?
We'll be careful with it, but right now, being a Monday, if we had to practice today, probably not. But if he, comes back Wednesday, should be good to go.
You said yesterday that you wanted to be playing your best football at this time of year. How long does it take to get that re-engaged? Is 4 weeks enough time to get this team playing to a level, Coach, that you would say is its best football?
I believe 4 weeks is plenty of time. I mean, we've been able to do that. We've shown it, in about the mid-season point, of our season. We were playing pretty good football right in there, and we actually had, quite honestly, these last couple of weeks, other than yesterday, I felt like our passing game was kind of, on track. It was improving, and obviously the injury to Christian, affects that a little bit. But the things when you look at the tape, gosh, it's all the self-inflicted stuff. I mean, it's negative, negative runs or incomplete passes early in the down. It's pre-snap penalties that put you in first and 15s. Route details, just fundamental things that we can control. That have, and really the same thing on defense, right? Just not staying disciplined in the gaps, missing tackles on the perimeter. All things that are within our control that we've got to get back to doing. So you get those corrected, and you put a little bit of the attention to detail on those. I think you will be back to playing good football and competing.
I know it was loud yesterday, but have you been surprised by the pre-snap penalties these last couple of weeks?
Yeah, really have. And quite honestly, they show up in practice during the week, and that's where it starts. I'm a big believer that you're going to play like you practice, and when you don't have the crisp practice during the week, sometimes those things are going to creep into a game, and it gets magnified in a ball game, right? Everything matters, and so it's something that it's a point of emphasis, obviously, offensively. We pride ourselves too with the silent count, being able to use that. I mean, because yesterday we did draw a couple of defensive offside penalties, which was great. I think one that was missed late in the game on the touchdown pass, which was okay. But yeah, those are things that are concerning and alarming, because those are the things that are holding the offense back right now.
I know it's not an excuse, but how much of that is there's just so many different faces going in and out of the lineup?
I mean, it's hard. You got different personnels, different bodies, different people, but it's not an excuse that we're going to use. everybody reps those plays in practice. So they know exactly which plays they're going to be in on, and the cadences, it's all kind of predetermined going into a football game what we're going to use. And so there's no excuse. We just gotta focus in and detail that part of our jobs.
When you have guys making mistakes that they've been making all year, haven't been fixed, wrong routes, those penalty things like that, and you're 15, 14 weeks into the season, is that one of those things that drives you more crazy than a lot of other stuff?
It does. It drives me nuts. And we continue, and I continue to talk to the team and just reiterate the impact that those fouls and mistakes have, the implications of those plays, in a game. And it's the things that have kind of kept us from being better, right? Maybe in the win-loss column this season than where we are right now. And but again, too, we have to own it. We got to take responsibility and accountability for it, and everybody has to lock in and focus a little bit more.
So what is that? Is that a lack of focus or preparation on their part with those mistakes?
I mean, some of it's on players, obviously, their attention to detail. They just got to focus and listen in the huddle, what the play is, what the call is, where to be aligned, the snap count, and all those types of things. And I get it too. They're in the heat of the moment. I mean, you got to block Myles Garrett one-on-one, and you might anticipate the count just a little bit. You just get a little jumpy. But, those are things that we have to try to eliminate and, keep us out of those long yardage situations.
Is there a chance of Jamal and coming back soon?
Yeah, I think I think this would be the week that if we can activate his window, we might do that, later in the week. So see where he's at health-wise. He's feeling good. So hopefully by Wednesday we can make that, decision.
What did Antonio Johnson show you yesterday?
Obviously he showed quite a bit, his ability to blitz, his physicality, tackle, cover, just a player that we've seen that out of, and I think the more he plays, the better he'll get and all of that. So he did a nice job, yesterday. Yeah, he was one of the bright spots, coming out of the game.
Parker had a fumble, but he also caught a touchdown pass. Between Parker and Antonio, is this kind of boost you need from some of these young guys this late in the season, especially with all the injuries? But are they, even though they're making mistakes, they're performing in other areas, aren't they?
Yeah, obviously the mistakes, they gotta minimize those and really eliminate those. But we've gone too far now, right into the season. But yeah, I mean they're showing promise. They're obviously showing why we drafted them, obviously, and now this late in the season, these young guys really are going to be called upon, based on injury and where you are as a team. And so the more opportunities they get, this was great for Parker, obviously, with Christian's absence. He gets a chance to really kind of sink his teeth into the offense and show what he can do, which he's done the last couple of weeks. And the same with Antonio.
At the end of the season, I'm looking at this. Looks like Dallas and Baltimore are the only teams that haven't had a losing streak. Everybody's had a 2 or 3 game. Kansas City and Philadelphia. Philadelphia's on one right now. So is the parity even more evident in the NFL this year than ever?
I believe so, though. I think the last couple of years, and for us, I mean, the sky's not falling. Obviously, yes, we haven't played our best football the last 2 weeks and we've gotten beat, But again, you're right. You look around the league and multiple teams have had, back-to-back losses or more. And, it's this time of year, though, is where teams begin to separate, right? And you start to get a better picture or a clearer picture, at least, of the postseason. But, for us, it's a matter of just continuing to just focus on us, be who we are, control the things that we can control, and, not, at least go out and not try to lose another football game if possible.
Parker's replacing Christian in the lineup, but he's also replacing Agnew. I mean, how's he handling the fact that he's replacing 2 guys you wouldn't have thought he'd have to replace before the season began?
It's a big role, big shoes to fill, and Jamal is obviously a tremendous returner in the kicking game, and for Parker, that's that's a big opportunity. I mean, he's done well on some of the returns. Obviously, the Cincinnati game, he put the ball on the ground, on a punt return, and then again yesterday, same thing. So, those are the things as a young player he has to understand, right? And we'll continue, and Chad does a good job of communicating and talking with him and making sure that, he understands his role. But great opportunity for him. Obviously we got a lot of confidence as a staff in him. And but yeah, big shoes to fill with those two jobs.
Where's the defense in your eyes right now? They had some big takeaways in the second quarter yesterday, but then some big plays against them at the same time.
I think for the defense, it's, it came down to, I think, 3 plays for about 120-something plus yards yesterday. That's really what it came down to. And some of that was communication errors. And, again, and when you're that type of environment, communication is of the utmost. And, on a couple of those plays, we failed to do that. And that can't happen. And that cannot happen. And that's something that I know the defensive staff and Mike will reiterate. I've reiterated that. We continue to talk to our guys but they kind of kept us in the game a little bit again with some of the takeaways, and it just goes to show you how close these games are, because it comes down to 3, 4, maybe 5 play, and you never know what play it's going to be. That's the thing, and that's what I keep trying to reiterate with the team is like, you got to play each play independent of the last, and because you never know which one it's going to be that's going to come your way, and you're going to have the opportunity to make that play.
Okay. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you.